Hi, I'm Superman, and welcome to Comic Book Look.
Welcome to a Comic Book Look. We are your comic book show. We talk about everything in the comic book industry, anything related to it. We come at you weekly on Inveterate Media Junkies every Tuesday night. Check us out. And we got a full crew here today, the full Comic Book Look crew. You know me, Tom, but of course, more importantly, Johnny Boy. And in the house, cameraman Skyler. We're letting him sit in again.
What's going on with that?
Whatever.
Who's running the cameras right now? That's a very good question.
We got an intern that's running the cameras right now, so we got to give him a chance.
Fucking Benny's been fucking up all night, too.
Yes! Exactly. Skyler's giving it to him, but fucking Benny, hold it down, okay?
Benny's got nothing.
Exactly. It should be good. But this is issue 48, and we are going to have a good one. We just got done watching Superman versus the Elite, the next installment in these Warner Brothers animated TV shows that are, movies that come out every so often. You know, last one was Justice League Doom, and we never miss one. And so it came out a couple weeks ago, but somebody has been on vacation. So let's hear about it, John.
Man, well, first of all, it was a great vacation, you guys. I was gone for 2 weeks over in the UK, kind of saving the world over there. God save the Queen, John save the Queen, you know the drill. Good, very good experience, though, seriously, guys. Like, I went to England, Ireland, and Scotland, and just totally cool, warm people over there. I put one update up where I was trying to find this comic shop I saw from the bus, and I couldn't find it. I was so pissed. And my phone only works in Wi-Fi hotspots, so I had to find a McDonald's, you know. And so that was really frustrating, you know, because I'm not going to drop a lot of money because I'm only there for, 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So it's not the end of the world. I tried. It was cool. I walked by this movie theater in London. Avengers is still hot over there, so that's cool to see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Favorite place, Ireland, obviously. And rocking some Guinness tonight in honor of, so...
I love that because, you know, from our St. Patrick's Day episode, I'm Irish, and I like to see John reppin'. And, you know, we'll post some in the comments. John did some updates when he was there, so we'll definitely post those videos so you guys can check those out, too.
Great experience.
Yeah, dude, I just watched you there, so jealous. I mean,
yeah. I just want to go sit in an Irish pub.
Right?
Exactly.
I wish I could be there and drink a beer with you.
Great experience, you guys. But, you know, it's what you make. But you know, we got our McNally's here and stuff. Take a good crowd, get some Guinness on tap, and have fun. I mean, that's exactly what I did.
Oh, totally. And, you know, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, you know, it's exciting that you got to go.
I wish I would have gotten, the other one, in Scotland, we passed the comic book shop that the Comic Noob UK guy on Twitter gave me.
Oh, really?
He's a Scottish guy that does comic reviews like we do. Super awesome show. But he gave me this address, and we walk right by it on the way to a group dinner. I have no idea where the group dinner is, so I can't go in there, and it was open, and then on our way back, it was closed.
Oh, man.
You know, and I was just like, I just wanted to pass out some flyers, shake some hands, maybe buy a book or two. Ooh. You know, so it wasn't meant to be, but, you know, it was cool. I got back, had 2 weeks worth, and like you said, Tom's still working on his stack. I'm just
exactly.
almost done with mine.
I have 2 weeks behind.
Heavy weeks.
Exactly.
Heavy weeks.
Craziness.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad to have you back. Miss John being gone for that long, but it's great to see him again. And yeah, it's fun that you guys didn't even have to miss it since I had a comic book look worked so hard.
We're dedicated
to
we
bring
go the extra mile.
We do. I mean, because a lot of shows, you know, they would have just taken a couple weeks off, but no, a comic book look gets you some creator interviews, gets you some drunk shows that are, you know, maybe taped a little too late, and that's just how it goes. But yes, now let's talk about Superman versus the Elite. I guess we should have a formula for doing this by now on how we're going to talk about it, but we still don't. So I guess, do you want to give a rundown of what happened, Skyler or John, or first go spoiler warning and just kind of give an overall rundown of the general plot lines? You want to do it, John, or just Skylar?
I think Skylar should.
Okay, go Skylar. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have Superman and the Atomic Skull. It was he escaped from Castle Grayskull, I think. It was a Grayskull ripoff.
Yeah, it was.
And he's terrorizing the place. Superman puts him in jail. New team of superheroes comes around. They're saving the day. And then they decide that they need to start killing all the bad guys so they can never escape. After the Atomic Skull escapes, kills a bunch of people, and so this superhero team, they call themselves the Elite, they start going around just basically doling out the death penalty to
Everyone.
all the bad guys. Pretty
Oh,
much
yeah.
anyone.
Any wankas around, you know?
Oh my god.
They just take it out. They just kill
Superman said wanker.
anybody that is like a dictator, anybody who's causing the world harm. They're not gonna take the Superman approach to killing them. I mean, to like putting them in jail. They just kill them and end the problem. You know.
Yeah, just put it out of commission. And so at the end we have the big clash.
Yep.
Superman versus the Elite
And it's
on the moon.
it's totally
Interesting locale.
this elite is like supposed to represent, you know, this new group or the new mentality. And, you know, Superman's been around for so long. Does his mentality work anymore? And that's like the big question of this that they're trying to go philosophical with you is, you know, is Superman's way correct, or is there another way to look at it? You know, through this way, it definitely is Superman's way is correct. You know, but I mean, granted, comics would suck more, but yes, I think it would, I think in the world of DC, if Batman would have just killed Joker right away, it would have been a lot easier, a lot less people die. You know, different things like that. But so it's interesting to take that approach. Apparently, this was based on a Joe Kelly comic book, Superman. I did not read it. I'm pretty sure Skylar or John hasn't read it either, so we didn't know. I mean, I didn't recognize any of the characters.
No,
Yeah, I mean, Lois, which was a bomb Lois.
Yeah.
You know, she
We
really...
need more
she
Lois
was,
like that.
yeah,
so bitchy.
yeah, she carried a lot of the goodness of the show, but you know, that overall plot line of Superman is good and he will not kill, too. Maybe sometimes these terrorists should be killed. And I like the approach, you know, what they took upon it. These new characters that we're talking about, the Elite, they, I don't know, hit or miss for me. I didn't think they blew me out of the water or anything like that. What they kind of consist of is this guy, Manchester Black, who has the, like, Union Jack tattoo on his chest and wears, like, a over trench coat and has piercings and purple hair and purple lips and
He chews on a matchstick.
yeah, you know, and he just says the most cliche things that an Englishman is supposed to say.
He never said bollocks, though.
Yeah, he never
did
said
say
it
bollocks.
about
We're
that.
waiting for it.
But he said wanka at least like 85 times. And then there's this girl who has kind of similar to what's the X-Men character? Maggot.
Yeah.
Very similar to Maggot, having these things
Come
you know.
out and attack people. Yeah.
Medusa-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's the other
Hats. The hats.
yeah,
A hat.
our favorite
Alki.
character.
Probably the best character in the film, I'd say.
The,
Yeah,
hat, the hat
as-
is a sorcerer
Yeah.
who lays around getting drunk.
It's amazing.
And they call him in, Hat, this is you. And he's just laying on the beach with a bottle of wine, taking a slug. Oh, tips his hat back. That's
Yep.
me.
They're like,
And he
oh,
saves the
you're
day.
up. He just gives him the thumbs up as he is like has his legs crossed. He's leaning back, he's slugging himself.
Just and the entire movie he had a bottle in his hand.
Oh yeah,
He
He
totally.
almost always was drinking a bottle of wine.
Yeah,
and there was plenty laying around.
My kind of hero right there.
Yeah, it was
It's
so
the kind of thing we can get behind it.
exactly. So we really like that, seeing that in the Superman story because he was so funny. He like pukes after he gets too drunk. He's like, man, I gotta sober up when there's a big fight. You know, it's just he's a funny character. But and then there's this giant guy who has like one eye that's off and like these chains hanging off of him. You know, just a big old black guy that is like domination, and he can like put power out and suck power in, but like really played lamely through like most of the movie,
And
and
his
like
lines.
and you just wanted him to be such a cool character, but then he's always saying just also cliche, stupid stuff, and it just sometimes it's just like God, come on, get real here.
Yeah.
But those are like the four characters, right? So
The
Manchester Black, the Hat, the Maggot ripoff, and the Johnny guy.
Static Shock, big version.
Yeah, exactly. and so these are the elite, and everybody's like rooting for him and stuff, and they're still the world is getting behind them, and Superman's doubting himself.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you guys? Should we say what we thought of the show first, or is there anything else we should? Maybe before we say what we don't like or what we thought, let's say what we really liked about the show. What are some really good things? Or I keep on saying show, but it's feature movie.
Yeah,
And this was a longer, and this was definitely I think about 5 or 10 minutes longer than the Justice League Doom, and they were kind of sticking with that 90-minute range. So I'm glad to see them go a little longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what were the really cool parts that you guys thought?
I thought that the kick-assery of the whole thing was nice to see. I always love seeing Superman get slapped around, personally.
Of course you do.
But I did appreciate the new approach presented in that team. I didn't like the characters necessarily in the team, like you said. They're kind of just waterlogged. Like it wasn't anything new to me, and some of them could have had a lot more potential. The Hat rocked my socks, of course. But all in all, I thought that the approach was cool. I'm glad that you said something about the psychology behind it, because it's interesting. While the film didn't have a lot going for it, the one thing that it did was the ideal behind it, and how Superman did kind of go to the extremes, albeit how he did it with millions of Superman robots, spoiler alert, at the end. I thought that was kind of gay. No pun. But I didn't appreciate that part of it so much. But I liked that he was willing to portray that he did. So, it's like, I'm going to be a badass, but not really, So it's like, I'm having a Coca-Cola with no booze in it, but I'm going to lie and tell you that has booze in it.
Yeah.
That's what the film did to me.
That's funny.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it totally did at the end. I mean,
yeah.
because Superman makes Manchester Black. I mean, obviously we're giving you the spoiler warning, but
This
makes
whole episode,
makes Manchester Black think that Superman has killed innocent people.
Yeah.
He's thought that he's killed all the rest of his team.
Yeah.
When Superman, it ends up being that that's not the case at all in the end. But that's that. Seeing Superman not knowing what was going on, you're like, damn. He has like this bloodshot eye, and when Superman has a bloodshot eye, that shit is gonna hit the fan.
Exactly.
And it did.
He's like, where's my eye drizzles, Lois?
But yeah, I mean, Scott, what'd you really like about it?
I would have to say the kick-assery, too. It's always fun to watch Superman cartoon, because there's just all sorts of bear hug and smash into every building in Metropolis, one after another, just like a ping pong ball, all through the town. And it is fun.
Yeah.
Like, there was a scene where he had the atomic skull, and he was just running him along a rooftop, just hitting every chimney that would come by, just blasting him off the roof. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was fun. The kind of parts that I guess I like is definitely Lois Lane.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I
whoever...
couldn't stand her.
That was funny.
Whatever. Dude, the voice actor, whoever did, she did a really good job.
She did, yes.
She nailed it.
Yeah.
I think you get to a point in this, though, that you're like, Lois, dude, is a huge bitch. And you're like, is Clark taking that, all the time? Is he sitting at home and taking this shit?
Superman really?
Exactly. He can have anybody, and he's choosing this one.
Now! Click.
That's one call from her, Wow. And it's just it is super bitchy, Lois, but it's super awesome. I mean, I love having her be commanding and strong and confident. You see Jimmy Olsen a little bit, but not very much. Another one of the main interesting characters that I really liked was just the, cliche, over the top, Republican, talk show host. You know,
I think his name rhymed had like a vowel and a comma and something like that. You know,
totally. I mean, this is totally a Fox News ripoff, you know, or something like that, and just. It's how funny, you know, to play that commentary on the real world. It's so dumb.
What if the bad guys come after you, or the good guys come after you? We're America.
Well, of course they're not going to come after me. We're America. We're the good guys. And you know, and
no,
like,
I'm American. I'm American.
And there's like a point where they're like, you know, the elite is doing the right thing, and somebody's like, no, they're not doing the right thing. And, you know, that's the big case. Like, the Republican feels that they are because he's finally taking care of business. And and I say Republican, but, I mean, he's not like, doesn't have Republican.
He's never designated,
exactly.
But he certainly bears a strong resemblance to a certain news commentator.
Exactly. And, you know, I did really like that part. I liked some of the quick lines that were really smart. Like, Superman's like, you can't kill a person, you know, and consider yourself a hero. And then Manchester's Black is like, why your country does it all the time, you know, and like that's like, damn, dude, we do kill people all the time, and we call them heroes, and you know, so yes, that you know, there is some heavier commentary along that lines that I did like. Yeah, but it is still a Superman show, and then by far my very favorite part of this is the fucking punk rock opening.
I know, I can't believe I forgot to mention that. It was so good.
Are you kidding me? Like, when we turned it on and like that came up, I was like, what? This is so sweet. It's just like a compilation of just like Superman from the 40s, like flexing his muscles and like, I mean, being super cheesy, but then they put in this like bright
pages,
right?
Yeah.
Old comic pages and cartoons just all spliced together.
Yeah, it was spliced with bright colors and some rock music, and I was just kind of like, "This is so trippy, you guys! Like, this is so awesome."
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Did you not like it as much, John?
Well, no, it just took me like totally off guard because I'm used to that, you know, sober music at the beginning, like because it always opens up to a bank blowing up or something. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. So it's totally
they actually opened up that cartoon.
Yeah, the whatever cartoon.
Oh yeah, that kind of got me weird too. That was weird too.
A cartoon within the cartoon that we're watching. It's like Superman's watching a cartoon of himself on TV.
Like a super cheesy cartoon.
And it's got the bad guys in it.
And so it almost like fools you because you think, is this gonna be what we're watching?
Way to go,
because it's terrible. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a beer run, guys. I'll be back on this movie.
Just let it ride.
But then, like, it cuts to Lois being like, "Yo, I don't think you've ever said that. Crime doesn't pay." But you know, those are the things I liked about it. Now let's get to the dirty dirt.
The dirty.
The nasty stuff. What did you guys not like about it? I mean, let me do this. What did you guys not like about it, and how does it hold up to what we've watched before? Batman Under the Red Hood, and you know, Batman Year One, and you know, Justice League Doom, and you know, Doomsday Superman, all the other ones that we've watched. How does it hold up against those? And what are the nasty parts of it? Or parts that of the whole entire film that you didn't think that were great or were lacking or something could have been better?
Totally. I don't think it holds a candle to what we've watched before. To be honest with you, I wasn't really a fan of this film. And I apologize if anyone out there is, or if you guys are. But when we meet characters like Manchester's sister, oh, that's Manchester's sister. Okay, Lois, good that you knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then and the sister's like, I have no backstory whatsoever. What I've been up to the last 20 years,
totally
but
true.
Here's a profile of my brother.
Totally true.
You know, so I thought that was just kind of like, okay.
She was really pivotal in the.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
story.
she was so little.
She turned the climax basically.
Right. And I appreciated the backstory on it,
but it was.
But then she just pops up, and you know it's her. You see the blonde hair, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I didn't know it was her at first. What? Like, I don't know if you guys... I didn't know it until I said that. Yeah.
I saw that blonde hair.
And then I was like, oh, I get it. That's her sister, Vera, you know. That's Manchester's.
Yeah.
And this what happened to... So you guys aren't confused. Okay, so Manchester Black, how he found out he had his power was his sister was about to die. He stops a train. She lives. He ends up killing some people, we find out later. But she lives... and now they part ways after that. And he kind of gives us the feeling that something's wrong with her, but ends up being that she's part of the what do they call it, MI6 or whatever, and I can't remember whatever the special FBI thing is in the UK, and
MI6, MI5,
yeah, something like that. And she becomes a pivotal role by giving Lois this flash drive with a bunch of information on who really Manchester Black is, and she does just come out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I didn't really dig that so much. Other than that, I mean, like you said, the characters were just kind of like, if we knew them, maybe we would like them more or dislike them more. But for me, it was just kind of like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So you said you didn't like it. I mean, how about like overall plot and stuff? Is that kind of what you didn't like either? I mean,
yeah. I mean, we knew we were going to be the bad guys. There was no question on that. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I turned around to Skylar at one point, and I'm like, we're just waiting for these people to be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I guess, I don't know, like, with cartoon stuff, I mean, it seemed like there were maybe a few things that maybe kids wouldn't really get into so much.
Oh, yeah.
little death, little blood, little this, little that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It packs a mean punch, for a cartoon film, I'll give it that, but I wasn't feeling it, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I thought, just to kind of piggyback off of the animation style, that is one of the things I didn't like.
Yeah.
The animation style looks different than what we've seen before. I think the other ones were more clean and crisp, where this is a little more cartoony, and where those other ones were more for that 13-year-old. This one was definitely wanted to push the boundaries on people's like heads, making their face and eyes bleed, and like blood, and like literally
and swearing and drinking.
Oh, totally, and like that she's always trying to hit on Superman so much. The seductress, and also just like at least over 100 people died. I would say in this.
Minimal.
No, because there's that giant explosion that takes him out. I mean, that would have taken out 500 people alone. Yeah. So I mean, we're talking a lot of people die in this, and then to have that be that cartoony style, it didn't really mesh. And then I miss Tim Daly if he's not Superman. That is the guy from Wings that has done Superman forever and all the other ones, and I love his voice acting. He's so good. And anytime anybody else does him, I'm not always the biggest fan. It really didn't make you up for it for Lois because she was so good. But the total over animation style, I did not like it. It was almost like you watch that crazy cartoon from the beginning that you're like, oh, what's going on? And then they cut to the real stuff, and it's like there wasn't a big enough difference between those two to like, have you think that you're not in a cartoon anymore. And so I think that was definitely something that I thought was negative about it. How about you, Sky?
It was hard to stay interested, really.
Yeah.
And it's so, like...
we went for a smoke break there.
We went and had a cigarette in the middle.
I was by myself watching it, and that's when it started picking up, but barely,
Yeah.
You guys didn't miss anything.
But it's, the characters really were kind of underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And I like a show or a movie, a comic book show or a movie that goes out of their way to put it together in a comic book panel fashion. You kind of get that feel. Movies like The Dark Knight, The Avengers, you kind of get like, it's not just Iron Man and the Hulk bashing back and forth. Every once in a while you go inside the mask and you get a reaction, and it kind of sets up like a progression that you kind of feel in the panel. And this, they didn't even try for anything like that. They weren't really... Because I like when you kind of stay true to the comic book roots, and that's and it can make for really good filming style.
Exactly,
it's
totally. I mean, you just named great movies, and totally. I mean, I think they really did drop the ball.
I'd be curious to read the book.
Yeah, I do.
I would be curious.
And what is also interesting that all these other ones we watched, those are based off of like a graphic novel, a set of like 6 or 7 comics.
Yeah.
This is based on one comic book.
Okay.
One and done comic book. So I'm sure they had to add a bunch of stuff to it too, to make it long enough.
That's interesting.
But yeah, overall,
a lot better.
I mean, I want to say, I bet it is a lot better.
Yeah.
I know Joe Kelly is a great writer, so I mean, I bet it is a lot better.
I'm sure the dialogue is not nearly as rough.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a lot of times where it just feels like, oh, now we need to go and get to some stuff at the store.
Yeah.
Here we
It
go
was
to
kinda-
the store.
Yeah.
Or just like so cliche. I mean, just
Yeah.
like you have the English guy saying like the most English stuff. You have the black guy saying like what a black guy would say. You have the slut saying what a slut would say. You know, you have the drunk saying what a drunk would say. I mean, it's like it is so cliche with that.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a little over the top, and that pisses me off. Another thing though is like, you know, you have a chance to put these out here, and I know they want to have a bunch of action for kids to like, oh, they're fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go really deep into this, and you're going to have such a huge, you know, underlying, you know, message of, you know, old versus new. I mean, I feel like they didn't take the animation seriously enough. They didn't
No.
take it. They take it serious enough.
No.
At some points, where if you're gonna do this big fighting and stuff, and have dumb people like the Atomic Skull and stuff, like you have to just kind of lose that philosophical stuff, else you're looking for too much. And then, you know, rating compared to those other movies, I mean, I'm with John. I would say this is definitely lower in the pack.
Yeah.
Compared to the 14 that I've seen. I mean, maybe Wonder Woman wasn't very good. The first Green Lantern wasn't amazing. Some of the Superman, Batman Apocalypse, I think, or Doomsday.
Yeah.
I mean, I would put it right around maybe bottom 3 or 4. Whereas in, you know, Batman Year One, I loved. Justice League Doom, I thought had some wonky parts, but were still good. You know, this one didn't. So, what are you going to do? Let's do our ratings like we always do. We're doing 5-star ratings. You know, our 0 to 5 stars. Sky, you better start it off.
I think I'm going to have to go 2. Some of the battle scenes they're pretty fun,
Mhm.
but otherwise it was just too much, like, especially at the end. Just Superman gets up and robotically states the moral of the story.
Yo, he did.
Yeah.
It's like after school special much. After
Totally.
we just watched 100 people die. Now it's time for the moral.
How about you, John?
Oh my goodness. Well, Skylar's too kind. I'm gonna go 1.5.
1.5. Damn.
Just kind of lacking in the packing, so that's about all I got.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2 stars. I mean, I'll give it 2 stars because, I mean, there were enough things that I liked about it. There were some good parts, and, you know, I still, we're still here, we're still watching them, we're still getting them because we want, you know, them to continue. I mean, I want to continue to have DC make these movies, and they announce what their next one is, and it's going to be controversial, but they are doing Dark Knight Returns Part 1, and then they'll do Dark Knight Returns Part 2. So they're splitting up the original Frank Miller graphic novel of the dystopian future of Gotham, bad Superman who's real corporate, crazy animation style, crazy 80s, what you thought the future was going to be like, girl Robin on rollerblades. I'm really excited for this. How are they going to do the animation? I'm not really sure, but definitely super excited for the next one. They did that Batman Year One was Frank Miller book 2, and so now this is like Frank Miller's. I mean, this is Batman: The Dark Knight is the quintessential Batman book. A lot of people say the greatest Batman story ever written. I probably don't agree with that, but I do think it's awesome, and I'm pretty excited. And I will definitely have to read it before. We'll all have to read it before that comes out. I don't know when it does. Who knows? You know. So wait for that one. Skip this one. Is that what what we're kind of saying here?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't get enough Superman,
Right. Or you
Hop
got a
on
rainy
board.
day. Totally.
Or if they have the intro on YouTube,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
check that out. I mean, it is fucking bomb, dude. It is.
Buy the movie, watch the
Intro.
intro credits. They do some credits in the beginning too.
Yeah.
Like kind of a 50s style
Oh, yeah.
thing there. And then just take it out and put it back in the shelf. Or bring it back to Walmart.
Dude,
They'll
Red
usually take it
Fox,
back,
Red
they don't
Fox
care.
situation.
Yeah, there
Red
you go.
Fox. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't pick this one up. Who knows if it'll sell more? But apparently, they have said now that when they do something that is not Batman and Superman, they don't sell as well. So they're kind of
Makes
like,
sense.
they stopped making these other ones unless they're revolved around one of those, which kind of stinks. You know, I would like to see them, you know, go some different places, but, you know, it does make sense. It makes sense marketably, you know, so.
But you're not
Whatever.
going to make any money on a crappy Superman story either.
Yeah,
so.
you're exactly, and you're not going to let
If you keep
then
doing
people aren't
them,
going to
people
want
are
to go
going
to
to
the next
stop
one.
wanting to check Superman out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely the next one isn't going to be as good,
Yeah.
and so.
And also, why does Superman get like 3 times as powerful towards the end?
Oh my God! I forgot to
it
talk
was
about that.
so
So
good.
that was one of those ones that I really did want to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, he was
His
so
power
weak
set.
in the beginning.
His powers are, you have no idea where he's coming from, because, I mean, he's like having trouble taking down the Atomic Skull when he's small. Then he does a lot better when he's taking him down when he's twice as big.
Yeah.
And then he's like getting his ass kicked all the time. But then when he needs to stop like 25 planes with like 100 missiles, he does it in like 1 second.
Yeah.
And he has no problem at all. And then, like, I mean, you're totally right. His powers, you never knew where they're at. You never knew what Superman you were getting. And there are those Superman that is like extremely strong, can do everything, and then there's the Superman that's played that isn't as strong and is a little bit weaker. But you have to play him that the whole entire time. You can't like pick and choose with each scene. And I thought that was terrible the way they did that. Yeah. But you know, whatever. Warner Brothers is putting these out, so I mean, I still like that. Bruce Timm is on board, and I always like his animation. You know, we might not get Young Justice next year. I mean, I know I'm a big fan. Kuru's a big fan. Our listener, our viewer. I think there is a fan base for Young Justice, and it seems to be that, you know, they went Teen Titans Go is going to be on board for the DC Nation next year. So they're just going to do. I know they're not going to get rid of Green Lantern animated series. So you're looking at Green Lantern animated series and Teen Titans Go. Where's Young Justice going to go? Which is literally the best animated superhero TV show since Batman the Animated Series. I will stand by that, that quote any day. I think Young Justice is so good. I miss it already. It's gone. And we're not getting any new animation right now, which sucks. Are you watching anything? I mean, are there even any TV shows right now that's going on then?
They just started out that, well, not just, it's been going on for a while now, about the Ultimate Spider-Man on the hub. I can't really get into it, though. I tried a few episodes, and good for kids, though. I mean,
I was gonna
I'm
say,
all about, it's going to get people, albeit kids or anyone else, but interested in comics. And for me, it's just, I already know the characters pretty well. I don't want to see a version of Nova going through puberty. I mean,
Watered
I
down,
find
yeah.
that just...
They're all in high school, right?
Yeah.
Like even Luke Cage and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, I'm not...
Mabel's watched like the first 4, and she loves them.
Good.
And so I'm glad,
Yeah.
But I literally, like, where there's shows I can watch with her,
Yeah.
that's not one I can. I can't even watch it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
To me.
I don't like it either. I agree with you. But it's a good jumping on point for young kids.
Exactly.
So that's cool.
And you need to understand, I mean, it comes to a point where, I'm not an 11-year-old, so maybe that's good that I'm not liking this
Right.
kid immensely.
Good for you.
But, how about this one? Would you recommend this to kids? I mean, with how dark it was?
I wouldn't.
I couldn't say no.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you let Mabel watch it?
yeah. I'm so liberal when it comes to that kind of stuff. I mean, I'll let Mabel watch most things, because she has a very good understanding.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can definitely understand if you had a kid that was scared easy or different things.
Yeah.
You don't want them probably watching this. There are some weird things and weird kind of humor. But I guess I know that could bother a lot of people.
Right. Exactly.
Where that doesn't bother me very much. But call me a bad parent. I don't care.
I don't think so. I mean, I know that she's read a few things, and she's watched some of the movies and so forth.
I mean,
so I think
exactly. She
knows
went
the
to
drill.
Avengers in the movie theater.
Yeah, exactly.
So whatever. She's a pretty badass 5-year-old.
Exactly. She'd be the best nerd in the world.
Yeah. But other than that, not the greatest. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was something to do for a night, I guess. Whatever. Kill some time. But yeah, anything else you guys want to cover, talk about, or anything like that?
What are you drinking out of over there?
I got this new glass. You'll see it featured soon on the 50th episode coming up very shortly.
What a twist.
It is.
We're going to try to do some things different, have some big changes, so definitely check it out for number 50. That's like really getting over the hill.
Yeah.
Finally.
But yeah,
We're almost there.
but we've been coming at you for a long time now. I mean, just think, like, me and John have been coming weekly. Very rarely have we missed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Thanks for holding on. And definitely, if you're just checking out for the first time, check out our old issues. We have tons on the Inveterate Media site, InveterateMediaJunkies.com website. You can check out our YouTube page. There's, that's where we have them all. Comment, send us emails at, a comicbooklook@gmail.com. We need show ideas. We've done fucking so many.
We love doing them too. We love hearing from you guys. So.
And I mean, that's why we need those, because we want to continue to do it.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean,
Other than that, yeah, we're gonna attempt to roll out a contest probably next week, 2 weeks from now. I don't know.
oh yeah,
We'll figure it out.
you guys have seen those Comic Book Look T-shirts from John's Twitter picture and different things on Facebook group of Comic Book Look and from the last video the videos for the Comic-Con and we got a bunch, and so John is me and John are thinking of some ideas for a good contest. So definitely pay attention. We'll probably have to ask a question and have you guys answer, and we'll pick the best answer. Whoever answers that we like the most, we'll each send a shirt. So the one that Skylar likes the most, the one that John likes the most, the one that I like the most. But we'll be coming out with that with you. Maybe we'll do it on the 50th episode. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. A lot of cool things coming here on a Comic Book Look. So, check it out. Sioux Falls, South Dakota's original comic book TV show. Pretty sweet. Alright, guys. Well, we'll see you next week.
Excellent. You guys know the drill. I'm not even going to put a pound sign in front of it. We've been pounding knuckles and saying hellos and all that stuff tonight, so it's just good to be back. We're live. We're awesome. We're Midwest, and we're going to keep it comics.